last minute.
This is a perfect segue to man started the beatbox, and he was staying at my house before Burbank Con, and he taught my kid how to beatbox.
No way.
My son, I'm pitching my son on Jason May because he's about to run. Like, really gonna like this guy.
He's an internet sensation.
That's right, and he loves kids. And you remember the scene from Aladdin where Will Smith starts beatboxing as the genie? They can do that. And he was like, "Nuh-uh, Dad." And I was like, "Yeah." So Jason Mann's got there and he's still holding his bags. I'm like, "Come on, I gotta teach my kid how to beatbox." He sits down and he goes, "All right, boots and cats." Macklin goes, "What?" Boots and cats. Just start saying it over. Macklin starts going, boots and cats and boots and cats, and Jason's a little faster. So Macklin's like, boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots. I swear to God, just like that had happened. My kid could be hot shot. I don't swear to God, I swear to God. Wow. I had to shoot that. And then you just take the full world. Just two little Jewish boys on stage beatboxing.
That's awesome.
Hey DC, we're here.
What's up?
We're gonna do this live. We're with you. It's always great fun. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
It's just fun to be able to talk.
It's weird. It's so totally weird. You know what? Save your band of brother questions. They're not gonna get answered. No offense, Rich, if you're watching these YouTube videos, which I know you're not.
You have no way to help.
No offense either way. We're gonna take some questions.
Hi. I was wondering, where's the weirdest place you guys been recognized, either for supernatural or like General Hospital?
I don't know where that question was going. Where's the weirdest place that you've been recognized?
I had a good one when I was on GH. It was in Whole Foods checkout line, and it doesn't seem that strange, right? You recognize it in a grocery store, except I was standing in line, and the lady behind me was about this close, and all of a sudden she starts going, "Oh, my throat hurts. I feel like I have a fever." And she says like 3 more things under her breath and goes, "If only there was a doctor around." And she was a sweet older woman, and I totally turned around. I was in gym shorts. I smelled like I had showered 3 days, and I went, "Hey, I'm a doctor."
That's awesome. I've got 2 short stories. One is that I was recognized in a bathroom at a urinal for the movie Waiting, when my character couldn't be in public. And that was weird. That was a weird sort of show within a show. This guy's like, "Are you the dude from Waiting?" And the other one was I was at a grocery store one time while I was on the show Felicity. So this is 20 years ago. And yeah, and the woman checking me out was like, she was like, the checker, you know, she was like checking me out. She was just checking. And she was like, "Have you ever seen the show Felicity?" I was like, yeah. She's like, "It's a good show." I was like, it is a good show. It's a great show. Awkward pause. I'm actually on that show. And she's like, "You are?" It was a non-recognized. This weird sort of, I still don't know, and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Who do you play?" I played Richard, the guy is like friends with Scott Foley, Noel. Literally, that was it. Alright, well, thanks a lot. So yeah.
It's like, that's on sale, right? I've had a few of those with you and Rich, funny enough, like walking through, like convention lobby of sorts, and I'll be like trailing back, and you guys will be like 20 feet up, and we'll be like walking by, and somebody will come up next to me, and be like, oh, it's Brother Rich. And I literally am like, I look at them deeply, hoping they'll recognize me. And then they're like, "Do you have a marker?" And I'm like, "You know what? Gold, silver, black." Oh my God, you're so prepared. I'm like,
I thought about that yesterday because Jeff and I were stranded together in the airport, Jeff Priest and I, and so we did a post, we took a picture of each other, and I was like, at least I'm stranded with Jeffrey Priest, at Jeffrey Priest, and I was like, #God and Osmodeus. I saw one of the first comments I saw was, "Oh, bad luck for Rob and Rob's friend." Please, man. No respect for each
That's human, man.
It does.
I love you guys just build this up.
Oh, yeah, people-
right there.
Yeah. Oh, people handed me a phone to take a picture of them and Rich. Like, that's happening. Do you mind?
That's funny enough, has happened with me and Rich several times too, where they're like, "Oh, would you?" And I'm like, "I sure will. I'm making a great frame and everything." It's, you guys are
I swear one time a woman was like, "Oh my God, Rich, I love you so much. Would you take a picture?" I was like, "Sure." I took a picture and she was like, "Thanks, Chuck." She's hopped it out.
He wasn't there in the Chuck photo op.
I'm good today. Yes.
Hello, my question is actually for you, Rob. So we saw Chuck go from the hermetic book writer and then the kind of sweet, goofy, nonchalant guy. From the beginning, when you kind of started thinking that you were God, did you know you were going to end up being an asshole?
But I mean, this whole character journey has been like that, right? I thought the first episode, I thought it was just one episode and done, just prophet guy, and then turns out I came back, and then at the end of season 5 is when I found out I was God. But then Eric Kripke was like, "You're probably not coming back because we can't really have God as like a guest star all the time, you know." Okay, that's okay. And then season 10, they brought me back as sort of like a wink, like sort of, "Hey, it's me, still checking you out, not bad," that whole thing. And then season 11, I had that whole arc with Omar, and like that was awesome. It's like some of my favorite episodes I've ever done in television. And then I thought that was kind of over, and then I came back again, and I was a real ass. So the whole time it's been a surprise for me, but it's super fun to play. Every version of Chuck has been fun for me, and this current version is very interesting. I didn't see it coming, but I think it's kind of genius what they're doing, and I think this season is just going to be pretty epic. So I'm excited for you to see what we've done so far and what's to come. And I don't even know what's to come, but I'm excited to see it. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You there.
Hi.
Hi.
It's good to see you guys.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you here. Thank you for that. So I was just wondering about like how you guys came to be on the show, what your audition process was like, or what sort of brought you to Supernatural, and what that kind of journey was like to get it on the show and like immediately being on the show and what those reactions were.
Well, I have actually, it's kind of a funny story, and this deals with Robert Ulrich, who I know originally cast the show. I don't know if he still does or is it his office or whatever. Robert Ulrich, great casting director, right in the Valley in Los Angeles, and I remember getting the audition, not knowing what Supernatural was. Sorry.
What season?
This was season 4. Season 4, so probably as the end of season 3 was airing, I was auditioning. Didn't know what it was, watched a few episodes, saw that I was supposed to be this Jeffrey, this JDM guy at the time. I knew him, but I didn't know him from Supernatural, so I, whenever I looked up some stuff, saw some videos, I was like, alright, I'm good. Take my headshot, I walk in the office, and Robert's in a small, office at the time. There's just his desk, and he's sitting behind, and the door's like over here, and I walk in, he's got, I see it's my resume on the back, so I know he's looking at my headshot. He's holding it in front of his face. I can't see him, so, "Hey, how are you? I'm Matt." And he literally goes with the headshot, drops it just so his eyes come up, and he goes, "Wow, you really do look just like him. I hope you're all right. I hope you're good." And I flipped it over and looked at the resume, and then I put it down. He's like, "All right, go ahead." And I was like, "Shit, I hope I'm good too." And I read it one time, and then the callback was for Kripke. It was just Kripke and Ulrich. And it was on the Warner Brothers lot, where they have those houses, And that was it. I went in there, and Kripke actually wrote some of Boogeyman 2, which was the first movie I ever did, so I guess he was semi-familiar, somewhat, with who I was. And I went in, and I don't know, no direction, just kind of let me do it.
Who directed that episode, your first episode?
I want to say Steve Boyum or somebody that is on to doing something else? Like a big, Steve Boyum was a ex-stuntman turned big action director of
He might have
TV.
directed one of mine, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he's been around. I don't get around to the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first thing. It was basically like, yeah. You fit the look. Please don't suck. Go. What was that? Here I am, 100 years later, and 7,000 conventions later.
Yeah.
Rob and I are going to be on walkers momentarily. What about you? Casting, you remember?
It's funny you say that. I always have the opposite. Like, well, you don't look like what we were thinking. Well, let's see if you can act. Honestly, that was always, I prided myself in like changing their mind. And I don't really put me in a box, really. So I was trying to change their mind. Like, I know you had this in mind. Wait till you see this. I don't know if it was supposed to dance, but all right.
But I can. I also hop on the foot.
There was a casting director and one of the producers in the room, and I don't know who it was. It was one of the writer-producers. I didn't know anybody at that time. I knew the show was on. I'd never watched an episode. I had to go back and watch episodes before I went in because my character talked about some of the former episodes because I referenced things like bugs and things like that. Apologize for certain episodes. Anyway, so yeah, I went in and that was my audition. Went on tape and I'm auditioning for them, and I really jived with what that character was, and I and that's what you do when you really get a character. You really feel like, oh, I know this guy. You give it your best, and then you hope that they're thinking the same thing with who that guy is. But yeah, I think I was kind of, I had the beard and was definitely went for the whole like I've been drinking all day and I haven't seen the light in a while. But I hadn't, not that day. Anyway, so yeah, and then you just, like I said, you then leave like, okay, I felt like that went well, but who knows what they're thinking, and then sure enough, the next day or so, I got a call saying that I'd been cast, and that was it, and then, yeah, and I was like, oh, shit, and then here we go, and then here we are 10, 12, 13 years later.
Maybe the longest, other than The Boys and Misha, but the longest, most drastic character arc of any character in the show, arguably, is to get to where you are now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This guy.
Yeah, to be that,
I mean, how awesome, like, what more could you ever ask for? Other than being a series regular, like, that's pretty great that you not only play God and reinvented the version of God for our family here, and who knows, Kripke himself, you know? And now you're here. It's got to end it all.
Truly,
couldn't give us a 16, you guys?
Not my fault, Nazi. They write the scripts.
They do, because you think of the scripts.
It has been an amazing journey, and like what a gift, and I feel honored and every day to be a part of it, to still be a part of it. And I went through the same thing that I think you guys go through when you watch it. Like when I first got the script at season 14, I was like, oh shit, I don't like seeing Chuck like that, but like that's what you're given, and then now I'm kind of doing it. It makes complete sense to me, and it's just fun. It's just fun to be a part of. So
it's always fun playing bad and mean. Like my Kings of Con character is like the most fun I could ever have acting. How can I elevate my assholeness in this right here?
exactly.
Not that God's really assholey in that way, but a little different way.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what's evil about what's happening right now is just that he is using the boys almost like, it's like his favorite show, but to him they're almost like pawns in the master game that he's got going on, and they're like, we're real people and you're playing with our life. I've been liking what's going on with Chuck, with what happens between the writers of the show and us actors on the show. They love all of us dearly. We talked about this, but they change their mind about certain directions. So you think you're going to be, for example, if you get pinned for shows, they go, hey, we're going to need you for episode 4 or whatever. Great, so they pin you, but they don't actually book you on contract until they're absolutely certain that no changes have been made to the script. So a lot of times you get pinned, and then they rewrite it. They're like, ooh, they've rewritten your character out, but not because they don't like you. They're just put it a different way with their perception of what that script is. So you'll get the call like, hey, you're not in anymore, and you're gutted. You're like, oh man, really? Because I was in it, and like now I'm not there. Why? And it's not personal at all. But they're just writers. They're creative. Like, oh, and Rob will be doing the no, not Rob. Who else? We get Jim Beaver, and we'll do. You know what I mean? But we're all real people, so we're only like, but this is. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening. To me, that's the allegory of Chuck going like, oh. And then, you know, Dean's going, what the heck, Chuck? So.
I think it like strikes such an emotional level with us because we essentially, all of us guest stars from the show we play the lottery, the supernatural lottery, but the odds are like 1 in 40 to come back. And we're like, ha yeah, 1 in 40 is great. How come I never win? I never win.
Yeah.
They don't pick my number.
The odds are whatever the opposite of only 2. Unless you're those 2. You know, hasn't Misha died like 6 times?
Yes. Everybody's dying and living. I don't know what's going on. You should know.
I should. Yes.
Hi. My question was, do people ever talk to you like via internet or real life and like, criticize you for how you portray God on the show based on their religion?
You know, I haven't gotten a lot of that. Not that I've seen, but honestly, I do not pour over comments for that reason, because I'm just kind of scared of confrontation, but also, I don't, it's always nice to see compliments, but even the compliment, sometimes makes me a little uncomfortable. I don't know. This is what I love. I love interacting with real people and talking, you know, in reality with people about stuff. But stuff on the internet can sometimes be misconstrued. You don't know what people meant. And so I try not to get too far in because I'm the kind of person that's pretty sensitive, that I take things to heart. And so one person will say one thing, and they may not even meant it that way, but like, oh no, I don't know what that was supposed to be. You know, so that being said, I've never seen anything that's like, you're not God. My God is this. And, you know, I've never gotten anything religious. Just the hardest thing I've gotten recently is just like, you're an ass. But, which I don't normally, not something Rob Benedict got a lot of. But now I'm okay with that. I get it. I know what people are talking about. And hopefully they know that personally, that I'm not an ass. But I'm portraying someone who can be perceived as an asshole. But anyway, so yeah, no, I've never gotten anything like that. I've had like priests or nuns at conventions who are like, hey, I'm a nun, and what up? But no, the whole thing's been kind of fun. It's just fun. It's such an honor. It's such an honor to play that big of a concept. You know, I've never ever had any opportunity like this as an actor, so it's been a great. What a thrill, you know. So I'm like, hey, oh, by the way, that part you were playing, you actually got this. Like, what? It's like winning the lottery, you know. Woo-hoo. But yeah, no, I don't want that responsibility in my life. It's fun to play it.
If you ever meet a nun, you should be like, hey, what up? I'm God.
Yeah.
And just do this.
Totally.
I do God. I play God. I'm the God. What up? They're like, oh.
Respect me. When I meet people in real life that like don't know the show, like, what's your character you play? I'm like, I'm God. Like it's a weird.
It's funny. You say it like that, and all your friends, we go like when I'm meeting new friends, I'm like, oh, what's up? Yeah, my buddy Rob's coming over. He plays God on television. So he's a big awesome deal, and he's my friend. He plays God. Did I say that? God. He's God, the G-O-D, all capitals. You know. And
Yeah, I get bashful about it.
here he is, God. Comes right in, tells a good joke. I'm like, God's funny. I didn't say G damn. I was like, God damn. It was
Good.
It sounded like I wouldn't do it right in front of him.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, sorry. Matt, I wanted to say how fun karaoke was last night. It was really amazing.
That's what I heard.
Karaoke would like to say how fun you were last night. Thank you for partying with us.
I felt bad because I wanted to ask Rob a question, so I wanted to tell you how awesome you were before I asked Rob questions, okay?
Future note. Just leave it at karaoke was awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Rob, since I can't accept a world where Chuck is an asshole, I have a theory that Chuck is just really, really scared. Really, really terrified. And I know you can't tell us what is to come, but can you tell us anything about when last season you had to play Chuck in the graveyard? Was fear in your mind when you were playing Chuck?
Yes. Yeah, I think that there's a power that Jack has that is scary for Chuck. Even Chuck, because Jack is, because of who Jack's father is, there's a lot going on there. And I think that's scary. So yes, that is part of it. I wish I could say more, that hopefully this season will explain for us. But yeah, definitely that's part of it. He's been knocked off his game a little bit, and I think that's where he gets into his sort of more serious mode. He's sort of being a strict father right now. And this is the way that I get feeling. I know other people might put a different word on it, but strict father, that's what I'm going with. Old Testament-y, all smiting and whatnot. So yeah, definitely fear big part of it. I also want to say that we always love it when people, because when we're up here with Rich, there's a lot of times people like Matt, Rob, love you guys so much. You guys are just so awesome. But my question's for Rich. We get that a lot. My favorite was one time this girl in like Minneapolis or something was like, Rob, I'm Lisa, I'm your brother's friend. I'm like, oh my God, yes, he told me all back. Yeah. My question's for Matt.
True story.
Or the time my mom for the first time saw a Rich, Rob, Matt panel, and afterwards, I was like, Mom, you just saw the first panel. Like, what do you think? She's like, oh, I just saw it. It was just lovely. But my question's for Matt. Matt, like a general hospital question. I was like, wow, it just got done to me by my
I love it. I hold those moments high in my heart.
But yeah, you're very perceptive. That fear is definitely a weird thing that he's dealing with that he has not dealt with before, not on this level.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for karaoke.
Hello. I feel bad after what you just said, but my question's actually for Rob too. Matt, if you call me, I'm sorry. But it's about the current season.
It's happening. I'm sorry.
So Rob, with Chuck, what upsets him more? Sam actually shooting him or Amara leaving him behind?
We're all in the
Oh man, you mentioned the A word. I don't think the fact that Sam shot him that's not something that could be something that he knew would happen. I think he's a little bit thrown by how much it's affecting, how much that wound or whatever's going on there that they've got somehow something going on that's affected him. And the Amar thing is devastating. He goes to her to try to help pull him out of this, and he doesn't like being in that position where he's got to ask for something, and that's what he's trying to do in those scenes in that episode. And she disses him, and that is hurtful. And so, you don't want to make Chuck even more mad. So, so that's where we're at right now, huh? So I'd say right now that was maybe that really teed him off a bit. So, he's not happy.
Thank you so much.
He's seen better days. So it wasn't on this week, it'll be on next week, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's one Jensen directed, right?
Yeah.
Four, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, my question is for Matt.
Hey.
What GH actor should be on Supernatural, and what Supernatural actor should be on GH?
Ooh.
And what would they play?
Here's a quick bit of factual information you may or may not know. So there is a character that's escaping me his name. There's this guy Dominic Zamborga? Dante, who played in season 1 of Supernatural.
There's a lot of crossover.
He was in, I just watched it. It was like the episode between 18 and 22. It's a great vampire episode of the first season, and he did a good job, and he plays it. So he already crossed over and was on Supernatural. If there was another guy, who? Oh yeah, James Patrick Stewart, we all know, has been on. But if there was an actor that's on GH, I would like to see my longtime love interest and co-star on the show, Maura West. I don't know if you guys know her. She plays Ava Jerome, and she's an over-the-top badass villainess on the show, and she would be a tremendous guest star character on Supernatural. She's just this badass female guest star, like she just has it in her. She's been on the show for a long time. I don't know if she's looking for other gigs, but she's great at it.
I agree.
And Sonny, obviously Maurice Bernard would be great. He'd be great for Rob to play off of, like as like some big bad of sorts that Rob deals with. Because he only talks like, thanks so bad.
Has he been on for a while?
Yeah, it's right. And Maurice can get away with this wonderful thing that he does. He's a tremendous actor. The guy's won 100 Emmys and he's gonna win 100 more, but he can take those pauses that like where another actor may forget a line and kind of is like, ah shit, what is it? Can I go again? Where he'll just stay in it until it's so brutally uncomfortable.
Until the word just comes
Until something happens in one of our faces and the word comes up and he'll just be like, School is where it all began for me. When I finished school, I went and I got a snack after school. And you know what? It was Oreo. 2 Oreo. Like, he has this like subtle acting that you're like, should we call cut and we go learn the lines, or you having a moment and I'm just not on your level? And it's always that. It's always the latter of the two.
So do people ever improvise when they just go up on the line and they make
Yeah. The veterans are allowed a little bit more freedom with that type of stuff.
I remember you told me that people get a little bit, like, they really need you to know the lines.
Yeah, I mean, you have one blocking and one, essentially a rehearsal that is supposed to be the take almost. So you do the scene 3 times, where you come in the morning, like you're in your gym clothes and you got the papers and you're like, so Griffin steps over here and he says blah, 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 and as soon as he's done with that, he's gonna walk to this thing, but look once, and then do it again. And this is like how the rehearsal goes. The director kind of walks you through that. We're shooting 5 cameras at once, so one kind of mastery crane shot and 2 medium overs and then 2 close-up overs. And you're like, all right, and then Griffin she's had enough and he's dealing with it, and then he steps over here. All right, let's rehearse, and then we're going. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I don't really remember my lines, but I walk over here, and this is how it goes. Like, this is how I will say it when you do it. And I'm like, right, yes, and this is when I did the thing. All right, I guess we're ready. Go ahead. And then 4, 3, and you're like, shit, I gotta look at the lines. Can I go again? That's good. Yeah, and they'll give you those type of things, but generally it's a very, very loose rehearsal, not a supernatural rehearsal where it's let's clear the crew, let's do the guys, bring the crew in. It's not that. It's the crew's there. I'm trying to figure out why I'm here picking up the glass and drinking it and how that works with the line, and why I go over here and make it not look, phoned in and all that stuff. So it moves fast. You need to know your dialogue, and you need to try to make sense of the situation in minimal time, which is just crazy.
It's crazy.
It's insane. I love this job. Every experience that I get is a lucky experience, but the soap opera world doesn't quite give me enough all the time of each moment. There's times where the 2 actors sit down, a challenging 6, 7, 5 pages, whatever it is, look in each other's eyes. All of a sudden, 3 sentences in, they are not knowing what's happening because they're just talking to each other. And that's what you yearn for as an actor, a connection like that. I look at you, talking to you, approaching you. I'm not thinking about what my hand's doing or my face or any of that. Those are the moments. And you just don't really get those all the time in soaps because the pacing moves so fast. We go 130 pages a day on a soap. Supernatural does 7.
Crazy. Yeah, it's insane. That's why I was like, and they want you to know all those lines. I mean, we memorize our lines, but we memorize about 2 pages at a time, What actor from Supernatural would you want to be on GH?
Oh, I'd love to see Jensen reprise some soap opera days. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jensen's handsome on Supernatural, but they would hang him up. He would look like a porcelain doll on Supernatural. Can you just imagine each little highlight twinkling, every millimeter of his lips shiny and glowing, and me just off camera going. It would have been funny to do a soap day with Jensen though. He was apparently really good at it and thrived in that atmosphere. No wonder. I mean, he's been great since the pilot episode, which I just watched, and I was like, damn, these boys been good for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time, Jensen's been playing smart ass and doing it funny. Unbelievable.
You know, he and I went out for Halloween last weekend. Trish had a party, and we did Once Upon a Time in America. Once Upon a Time in America. Sorry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And
Don't yell.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he was Brad Pitt's character. I was Leo DiCaprio's character, and he had a wig on, and he looked like a fucking Ken doll.
Yeah, he did.
And
It's disgusting.
And so, you know, as the night went along, like first we went out to dinner, totally made up, totally in his wig, went out to dinner, it was hilarious. And then we went to a place where people know him, and they're like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm in costume too. So it's awesome. This guy. So the whole night's kind of like, you know, he came in, was looking all Brad Pitt. I was like, yeah, and I'm also right here. Right? What? I mean, can you tell it's me?
Like you're carrying around DiCaprio's
yeah, it's like, this is John.
This is you like markered in a beard, so people are like,
That's exactly it. But yeah, but we were laughing that he would be my stunt double. Because that's the idea. I had seen the movie, but he hadn't, so we went and watched it that morning. So he knew the references, you know. So the movie's so fun.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh,
I'm still dying to see
yeah.
it. I went to see Rambo instead, which was
Classic.
just an instant classic, to say the least. It's, you know, Sylvester Stallone still making those things.
Still doing it.
Scary and action hero-y as ever.
Yeah.
As ever. You look at him and you're like, I don't want to. I look into his eyes.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
A bit leathery.
Yeah, man.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey, what's your favorite blooper that you've ever had in Supernatural or any other show that you've played in?
Favorite blooper?
Favorite blooper. They don't allow bloopers on Supernatural. Favorite blooper. I have a great new blooper, which will also segue into my pitch for my holiday movie. So let me start here. So there's this, I just finished this Hallmark movie, I'll make it quick. Yay, Hanukkah. Hanukkah, Christmas, all day long, prepare yourselves. Sufganiyot, raise your hand if you know what that is. There we go. To the Jews in the audience, thank you. How about menorah? Raise your hand if you know what a menorah is. There we go. All right. Two holidays come together and make one fantastic weekend. So I'm in this scene, right, and it's the final scene, right? The family finds out the thing they're not supposed to find out. We're confronted by the people. The girl's here, the boy's here, the mistletoe's here. The whole thing happens. We filmed her coverage first of all the dialogue that would lead up to a kiss. So, as a professional actor and married person, you don't kiss her unless it's the shot for the kiss. You know, you just kind of go in and the camera sees her lean in, she goes out of frame. I just kiss her on the cheek. She pretends that was the best mouth kiss she ever had. Take a reaction, blah, 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 blah. We do it like 4 or 5 times. She's acing it every time. 4 different takes. Oh my God, the director, this guy Jeff Bees, these amazing, amazing Canadian directors, like, dude, moving on, turn it around. These are all terms we love to hear in the business. As the day is going as it should. It's pumped up, her coverage is perfect. They get the master shot, we still don't kiss because they're going into the thing. Turn around on my coverage. He goes, we have about 10 minutes left on the day. We gotta get this right away. I'm like, no sweat, man. One take Matt, been doing it the whole time. 13 days in, but nailing shit. One take, I feel funny, all the things that I never feel on set, it's just flowing. I get into the thing, and I start the scene, and I am lost in the moment. Truly, I pull a ring out of my pocket, all these things, all these beautiful romantic moments, and it goes into the kiss, right? You hold your gaze, as we do in the movie industry. You gotta go overplay the gaze a little bit. She's right here, just right here, and I'm just looking at her beautiful face and thinking all these beautiful things, and I go, and as I embrace her in a hug that was supposed to be the big kiss, I go, and my mic's right here, and I go, oh shit, I was supposed to kiss her. I don't know what happened. And Jeff beats me from the other room, from the other side of the house. He goes, you're never gonna get that one back, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna, when he goes to edit, he's gonna use that whole take up until
Cut to the kiss.
Cut to the kiss.
Oh man, because if you go back, you won't stop thinking about that.
Right. And as soon as I went in to hug her, I'm like, this doesn't feel It was like, God, it was so...
Were people laughing or no?
People were laughing after the director yelled at me. But he yelled at me joking. We had like that type of bromance going on. And he's like, you are never gonna get that back from him and ever. It was so funny. And I was like, oh man. It was truly like, the moment was so working.
Yeah.
Until I dropped the ball and kicked it somewhere I could see.
Yeah. It's hard with those things like, you always, I was gonna say you don't have control over, but you had total control over that.
Total control. I just dropped the ball so bad.
That's hilarious.
So you watch this movie December 14th at 8 p.m. on Hallmark Channel. And you see the mistletoe and the family and the moment. Just remember, this is how the shit went down. You'll smile as you watch me shove a powdery sufganio into my face. I'm like, you know sufganio is like a Jewish jelly donut. I didn't know either. I thought I was just a horrible Jewish person. I'm glad you don't know because I feel like you're more Jewish. So,
maybe not on paper.
Not on paper, but paper.
But outside of paper.
Yeah, outside of paper, and that's what counts.
Exactly.
Outside of the paper.
That's where we are now.
Right.
I'll tell a similar story. The kiss reminded me. I'm always awkward with on-screen kissing, and I had to kiss Jenna Fisher in a movie we did together called A Little Help, and and it's a pretty big scene. The whole movie kind of culminates in this moment between these two characters, and we were shooting on like an ice rink outside, and the same kind of thing. You don't kiss really for rehearsal. You save it. And she's nervous, I'm nervous. Like, you just get nervous before a kiss. You do, because it's not your partner or whatever, and you're getting intimate with somebody. So it's just a little bit boom, 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 boom. And and I had to add like Jenna Fisher, she's such a cutie, and don't screw this up, Benedict. And so action. It's the first time, and camera's here. It's a two-shot. We come together, and we're mic'd. So when you wear mic pack, there's this big pack right here on the top of your butt.
A lot like what's in his other pocket back there, yeah.
Like,
but they open on your belt, and so it looks like...
Exactly. Yeah. So she had one of those like underneath her sweater or top, whatever. For some reason, I went up to kiss, and I kissed her, and I grabbed a hold of the pack. So I'm like kissing her, holding her pack in an obscene, weird way. And for me, it was like a security blanket, just like holding on to something, I'm kissing her, and she starts laughing in the middle of our kiss. I was like, what? You're holding on my mic pack. What are you doing? I was like, I don't know, I'm so sorry. It was just weird. Thank God it wasn't her actual butt.
And like, so you don't want to let go and make it weird, like you can't go wrong. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just...
He was like, get over here, you. What am I doing?
The sound guy's like, the finger's on the volume, you're too loud.
Yeah, so I was so awkward. I'm just an awkward dude. I really wish I could have gone there like, get over there. But I was like, so she started laughing, so that ruined it. And it was never quite the same. I mean, we never got it. I mean, we kissed, it was fine, but the sparks didn't really fly.
It was the same thing. All the other takes, like the scene as I was...
I really take even if you're kissing, and you're both going, I'm not ready to the mic back then.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, so I'm still working on it.
Thank you.
I was actually thinking, as you told that story, I was like, I didn't kiss Mandy in rehearsal, did I? I hell
I
yeah.
think you did.
No, I didn't.
Just to let it go.
You were great. You were great about it.
I know, but Rich is in my
Oh, Rich is
constantly
weird.
mad. You know, he calls me once every Sunday at 6:15 a.m. in the morning just to remind me that you did kiss her in rehearsal.
He's such a jerk. He's such a jerk.
Good morning, Cohen. Happy Sunday to you. Don't forget Rob kissed Mandy in rehearsal goodbye. Where am I? I look at Mandy sound asleep with her sweet face and I just picture Rob going,
No, you were standing right there, and it wasn't in rehearsal. And also, we wrote that whole thing like, oh my god, this would be mad, this would be da. And like, then we had this part like, oh my god, this would be great for Mandy Cohen. It wasn't like, oh, and I'll kiss her.
oh, yeah, I mean, agree to disagree. Cool story, though.
Good story, bro. It's my wife, bro.
Oh man, it sounds good on the mic pack thing.
Hi.
Being intimate with a robot. Give that mic pack. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi. My name is Nalani. I'm from right here in DC. I feel really bad now because my question's for Rob.
I'm gonna slowly backpedal out of it.
In I believe it was season 15, episode 2, you were talking to Amara, and you said you liked the Game of Thrones finale. I just had the plot explained to me, and it seems like it was very horrible. And I want to know, do you really think it was that good? Because it seems terrible.
Right, so it's one of these things where I think the writers wrote that sort of as that's the joke, right? The guy is so off right now, and he so doesn't get it, and he's not in touch, that he's like, hey, that was pretty great, right? That was awesome, the Game of Thrones, everybody must agree with that, right? So I think that was the joke there. I personally, I didn't dislike it as much as a lot of other people did. I stuck with it. You know, I watched it from the very beginning of that show, and that show is so hard to make and pull off that I think you have to tip your hat to that show no matter what. And it's, to me, that show is so hard to make. And I think what they did, some of the shots they did, those battle scenes were amazing. So could it have been better? Yeah, maybe, but endings are hard. Endings are hard. So it's true. So anyway, I didn't hate it so much, but yeah. But man, God loved it. God really loved it.
I have a question.
Yes.
As a host understudy,
Yes.
when people are talking and there's questions going on, how do you step in and go, it's time to, you need to, it's your
Well, if you're rich and you come on and you just come on stage and Rob's answering your question, just go, hey, what's going? It's over, I'm here. But if it's you, because you're considerate, wait till Robbie finishes his answer.
Right.
Or Matt finishes his answer.
Right.
Which is now.
Right.
And then you speak.
What do you say?
You say, hi, I'm Jason Mann, the hostess with the mostest of the understudies. And I'm here to tell you what's coming up next. Robbie? What you say?
I wish that.
I can't wait to tell you what happens in the next season. Season 15. And I'm really excited about it. It's Rich.
How was it? Matt Cohen. Great? You love it? Great? Great night? Matt Cohen, right? Alright. He also does this thing where, like, it's the three of our panel, he's like, that's Matt Cohen! That's Rob Benedict! And I'm always wanting to say, and that's Rich Space, like, and I'm Richard Space! Like, he takes your...
He does that karaoke too. He's like, on behalf of Creation Entertainment and Lisa Barry and whatever, that's Matt Cohen. And I literally go, and that's, and he goes, I'm Rich Space! He yells louder than I yell, and I yell on purpose. I'm Rich Space!
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's so angry. And he can't hear so good. And that's what makes him cranky. He can't hear so good. Listen, I miss him a lot, but it's been so fun not having Dad here.
That's right. When the Rich is away, the Rob and Matt get to play.
Yeah!